Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So this is the Strawberry Moon Homestead. For those of you that are new, we do a lot of urban permaculture here and we try to grow as much food as possible. So in the past year, a lot has changed around here. We've done a lot of remodeling of the yard. We've really reworked the gardens a lot and we've kind of taken some stuff out as well. So I'm going to take you around. I'm going to show you what we've changed. So back at the pergola here used to be where our chicken coop was. So if you were following along with my past videos, you would have seen that we had bylaw called on us over our chickens. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to have chickens here. I'd gotten away with it for a couple of years, but our neighbors were trying to sell their house, so they were all worried about the property value. So unfortunately, there were some things around our place that we had to change, and the chickens had to go. So both my husband and I and the kids quite miss our chickens a lot. Maybe in the future, hopefully in the future, sometime soon, we'll be able to get another place and get some chickens. But for now, it is back to a pergola. From here, we've still got our little food forest here. I've got my pear trees are growing up quite tall. Same with my apples. I've got some elderberry in there, a mulberry tree, and a big peach tree. Some of the changes that we are making around here are in order to increase our property value so that we ourselves can move when we're ready. We're hoping to move up north and have a lot of property to do even more homesteading. So some of the changes that you will see that are kind of bigger changes are for that reason. Back in here, we did have a ton of raspberries growing. I did leave a few here. However, I did take out a lot just to add some space around the pergola. They'll grow back if I let them, but for right now, we needed to kind of control their spread. This is our veggie garden. I ended up taking out my cherry bushes because we want to just extend the annual garden. I also took out the horseradish bush that I had here. So they're not gone, they've just been moved. But we've just added more space for our annuals. And it just looks, I guess, a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So unfortunately, this year with our soil, we had a lot of rot with our tomatoes. So we ended up turning the soil over, throwing a bunch of bone meal in because I believe it is a calcium deficiency. So we've really reworked the soil with some bone meal and a lot of manure. So I'm hoping for a better year next year. Unfortunately, this year has been so rough for us in terms of produce. The squirrels have been crazy this year. They took all of our peaches, all of our cherries. I managed to save our pears. They took all of our plums and they annihilated a lot of the apples. So it's been such a rough year produce-wise that we're really hoping for a better year next year. So there's our asparagus. We still have a couple of these around, but we did end up turning a couple of them under. So far, we've got our garlic planted for next year, and because it's been so warm, you can see that it's already sprouting. We also have our pear trees in here and our sea buckthorn. You can see here it's growing really tall. We have yet to have berries from our sea buckthorns, so hopefully next year that will happen for us. This here is the biggest change in our backyard. We turned it to grass. So this area used to be all garden. When we decided to make it a little bit more property value friendly, we decided to sacrifice this bit and turn it back into grass to hopefully add some value to the house when we do decide to sell. Lastly is our front yard. In our past videos, I've shown this as like a native, fully planted garden. It was our front yard food forest. Unfortunately, again, we had bylaw come in and tell us to change it. So we did struggle a lot with bindweed out here. So being able to take it down a bunch has helped to control that. We've obviously put a lot of grass in and a front walkway, and again made it more aesthetically pleasing. That being said, we have kept a lot of our edible food forest plants and native plants. We've just moved them in a circular area around the grass. So in this front garden, we have a lot of elderberries. We have a lot of natives like echinacea and nannyberry and Jersey tea. We have hascaps. These two bushes here are where I moved my cherry bushes. So they're going to be out here from now on. They obviously don't look very good right now because it's fall, so the leaves are dying and falling off. So I've got my 2 cherry trees. They are gigantic now, and they produce a ton of cherries, you know, if we can get to them before the squirrels and the birds. This, as much as it's not aesthetically pleasing at all, produces tons and tons of native raspberries, and they are so delicious. So we're leaving that. We've got our elderberry here. This is our original elderberry, Big Scotia. It's doing wonderfully. And then we've got some asparagus that actually grows really well out here as well. And once we were able to take all the raspberries that didn't produce down, this asparagus popped up for us again. So that's been wonderful. And then our pear trees, this guy especially was struggling with the bindweed. So once we got the bindweed down, the pear tree has now come back and produced a decent amount of pears for us this year. So that was wonderful. And then I've got some more elderberries up here. New addition is this apricot tree. So hopefully we'll get some apricots in the future. So as much as it sucks that we've kind of taken a lot of our garden away, we're still able to produce a lot of food, and unfortunately just have to make some concessions for living in town and for the fact that we do want to sell in the future. So it is what it is. But we're hoping we can still produce the same amount, if not possibly more food with the land that we are using here. And we'll basically just use what we have until we can get to our dream property up north to be able to produce what we would like. So anyways, those are the changes that we have made around here. Thank you guys for coming along with me and seeing our urban permaculture property as it is now, and seeing all the changes that we've made and what we might be doing in the future. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.